chronic pain solutions. I'm going to go through a list of several things that you can consider that are non-drug oriented to handle chronic pain. Shows in the past, we've talked about the opioid crisis, we've talked about chronic pain. We know that 1 out of 2 adults in the United States, unfortunately, have chronic pain. The number one source of chronic pain in the human body is the lower back. The number one reason for Social Security disability applications and approvals is for lower back pain. Unfortunately, only 1 out of 10 people that have chronic low back pain that apply for Social Security disability have not tried a chiropractor. And chiropractic has shown to be much better than the best drugs out there for chronic pain, but there are other solutions as well. That's what we're going to talk about here. So I'm going to give you 8 strategies. Number 1, of course, is chiropractic care. Chiropractic and its evaluations and adjustments stimulate those impressive, important nerve endings that are buried in the tissues in and around the spine called mechanoreceptors. These mechanoreceptors activate nerve endings in the spinal cord and in the brain that release chemicals that inhibit pain. The chronic pain pathway can be inhibited, may be inhibited over time by barraging those chronic pain pathways with those special nerve endings called mechanoreceptors and chipping away at the chronicness of those pain pathways and reestablishing new motion-based pathways by doing that consistent work. That's why when people do chiropractic care, they do physical therapy, they do consistent physical exercise, they do acupuncture, they do mindfulness and meditation training. When they do these things consistently and often and frequently and they stick with it, they break down the chronic pain superhighways and they reestablish new highways. Chiropractic care, that's what you start with. Number 2, you want to balance the omega-6, omega-3 fat ratio. Omega-6, omega-3 fat ratio. Consider omega-6 the bad fats, although we need them. Consider the omega-6, the omega-3 fats, the good fats. Omega-6 fats can go down the inflammatory pathway, which would be pain and disease. And consider the omega-3 pathway is the anti-inflammatory pathway. The omega-6 pathway with arachidonic acid will then get converted to prostaglandin E2. The omega-3 pathway is just, we're just talking like one enzyme difference in these pathways. And the omega-3 pathway will eventually be formation of prostaglandin E3, which is anti-inflammatory. So you want to look at this balance, right? You don't have to remember anything that I said, but you should want a better balance. The ideal ratios between omega-6 and omega-3 is 1:1 to 4:1. 4:1 is maximum omega-6 to omega-3. If you're beyond that, you're at risk of a chronic disease. The average American is 25:1. We have seen people as bad as 70:1. And we know when you get into those numbers that people are at a high risk of psychiatric problems. And there are doctors out there, myself included, that say when that ratio gets really skewed, that's when people might bring harm to other people. Keep that in mind. So you want to look at your omega-6, omega-3 fat ratio. You can get it tested. There are finger prick tests. I do them in my office. And then we go on a campaign to change that. We need to go into an oil change, get rid of those omega-6 oils. Just Google omega-6 oils. Get those out of your kitchen. Get them out of your food. Look at all the processed foods that taste good, that have shelf life. They have omega-6 fats in them. Get rid of those. And you get into omega-3 fish oil. That's why you take fish oil, right? That was a long explanation to tell you why I recommend omega-3 fish oil. And just keep in mind that we never take fish oil without protective antioxidants. I've done shows on that, and that information is on my website. Number 3, we need to reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines. So we'll get into that. We'll understand what that is. So the number one way to reduce that pro-inflammatory cytokine situation, once again, is to reduce that omega-6, omega-3 fat ratio so we don't go down that inflammatory pathway. The second thing is you can take a couple of supplements. One of them is called resveratrol, and that is that nice antioxidant that comes from grapes, not wine, grapes. And then curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. So you could be very generous with turmeric in your cooking, good idea. You can also take it as a supplement. Those are the anti-inflammatory pathways. Number 4, vitamin D. Almost everyone is deficient in vitamin D. I do testing. I ask your doctors to get yourselves tested. We want to know what that number is. It's usually a whole number between 0 and 100. Most of the people that I test are between, the worst I have seen in my office is 9. The best I've seen in my office is maybe 40. The sweet zone is, most people agree, is 50 to 70. And I have yet to see somebody with adequate vitamin D that's not already supplementing. Get your vitamin D level up. We have clearly shown, the science, I should say, and the researchers have clearly shown that people with chronic pain have low vitamin D. So that's easy to do, and we're talking a couple pennies per day to get your vitamin D up. Number 5, reduce your dietary excitotoxins. Excitotoxins. That's the glutamate and aspartate in the sugar-free foods. Diet soda would be a classic example of excitotoxins, these things that cause inflammation. They kill brain cells, they do very bad things to us, and they can definitely be a cause of chronic pain. Multiple studies have shown that removal of those substances out of your diet can knock chronic pain down considerably. So any of these diet foods, anything that says diet, get rid of it. Be an ingredient snob. Look at what you're putting into your body. And they increase pain sensitization, as we know. Diet soda, sugar-free iced tea, you want to look at that. Anything that's sugar-free is a suspect. One website that can help navigate the ingredients list is something called truthinlabeling.org. Truthinlabeling.org will help you navigate ingredients. Next up, malic acid. Malic acid keeps the sodium pumps in the free nerve endings from being active. Sodium pumps run on ATP energy. ATP is a product of metabolism in your cells, and that little organelle in cells that you all heard of is mitochondria. Love that word, great word. You all remember it from school. Mitochondria cranks out the energy, ATP. Supplementation with malic acid and with magnesium helps that cycle of activity in the mitochondria produce energy to calm down pain nerve endings from firing spontaneously. So the chronic pain pathway becomes less activated by making sure you keep ATP energy in cells up, and you can do that with malic acid and magnesium. Okay. Number 7, keep insulin in check. Reduce your insulin response in your body. Control insulin and insulin sensitization. How do you do that? Well, you got to do that with a clean diet. You have to keep sugar down, icky carbohydrates down, processed food down. Insulin resistance lowers ATP production, as we just talked about. If your insulin is higher, it's going to not get the energy into the cells so the cells can produce that energy that you're looking for. Corn and soy linoleic acid is an omega-6 fat, which disrupts those pathways as well, and that's going to increase your pain sensitization and inflammation. As I like to say, eat the cleanest diet that you can enjoy. Eat the cleanest diet that you can tolerate and enjoy. The main thing there is to eat as many vegetables as you possibly can, and the goal each day is to get multiple colors of vegetables into your body, including breakfast and including snacks. That's the best way that's going to keep your insulin under control. And lastly, things that we can do to increase ATP, the energy produced by the mitochondria in your cells, and there's a variety of techniques. Ongoing wellness chiropractic care. Chiropractic care has been shown to improve oxygenation to tissue. And if you improve oxygen, you're going to improve the function of every cell in your body. That's wellness chiropractic care, which follows corrective chiropractic care. You don't stop going when you're out of pain. Low-level laser therapy has been shown to help chronic pain. I have an Erconia laser in my office. There are other lasers out there, but I have a class 2 low-level laser. It has now been cleared by the FDA not only for plantar fasciitis, but now for low back pain. So we've been able to demonstrate decreasing chronic pain by using laser. Daily exercise to your tolerance and to your ability. Every time you increase the aerobic capacity and fitness of your body, you're going to improve blood flow, which improves all that cellular machinery that we've been talking about. So you get the clearance from your doctor first, and then you do whatever is you are able, that you can function with and that you can tolerate. Deep breathing exercises. Great idea to get more oxygen into your system. It can also help relaxation. Just a good thing to do overall. Antioxidant supplements. I've talked about these in the past. There's a listing on my website about antioxidant supplements. B, C, magnesium, selenium, CoQ10, alpha-lipoic acid, N-acetylcysteine, and so on and so forth. There are a variety of antioxidants out there. Acetyl L-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid are two supplements that support your mitochondria for the reasons that we talked about earlier. The healthier your mitochondria, the better your cells, the more you're going to decrease inflammation, the less chronic pain that you're going to have. Detoxification. If you're into this and you're not sensitive to whey protein, undenatured whey protein. Look carefully. Put into Google, undenatured whey protein, not the cheap whey proteins that you're going to see typically in the store. N-acetylcysteine again, and also far infrared sauna is a detoxification element. I use that myself, and that's a good idea. Drink only water, reduce stress, stop smoking. We know that all of these things are going to improve your cellular health, are going to improve ATP production, and help decrease the chances of having chronic pain, and hopefully get people less reliant on pain medication. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller. Thank you.